Boaters, what neighborhood is best for you? Today we're going to talk about it. Yo, I'm Adrienne, longtime Florida realtor, and I'm here to help you get your Florida life. Happy Wednesday, everyone. If you're new here, new videos come out every Wednesday. Today we are going to look at the boating communities around Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte. These are the communities that you can put a boat either in the water right behind your house or near your house. I've been making neighborhood videos for a long time. You can go to that playlist to get more in-depth looks at these neighborhoods. But it does happen to me quite a bit long before YouTube, where somebody calls me up, they say, we're looking at this house online. Can you tell me what the boating is like? Can you give me a snapshot of the neighborhood? Or they want to know what neighborhoods they should look at when they come down here. So these are going to be just quick, kind of trying to get you in the feel of each neighborhood, and then you can do more research. As you come down here, you'll have maybe a list of neighborhoods you really want to see. Also, if you have neighborhoods that you think you already like, you might be exposed to something new here. Full disclosure beforehand, I truly believe there is no good or bad neighborhood. It's more about what you like. I have sold and had buyers and sellers in all of these neighborhoods, and I know that there are things that some people say to me the exact same thing. We love this about the neighborhood, and the next customer will say, no, that neighborhood's not for us because of XYZ. I'm going to try to give you the most just factual, non-biased snapshots of each of these neighborhoods. We're going to do Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte. Again, these are neighborhoods where you can put your boat in the water very near to your house or condo. We're going to start in the south with Burnt Store Marina. Burnt Store Marina is a gated community in South Punta Gorda. It's technically in Lee County. This doesn't really matter to most people, but that's how far south it is. It's got houses and condos. It has docks that you pay for separate from your property. Typically, I believe there's a couple houses that you can have a dock right behind your house, but mostly you're going to pay for a dock. There's also dry storage if you want it. The thing about the marina that attracts or people don't like, it depends on who you are, is there are a lot of fees in the marina. However, what people like is, I often say the marina takes care of you like you're a baby. They take care of everything is done for you. It's very well manicured, very well taken care of. I have been in it 3 million times in my life. I've never gone in, even after bad storms, and thought, oof, they're really not, they're letting this place go. No, the marina is beautiful. It has a lot of seasonal residents, certainly full-time residents, but seasonal as well. And the seasonal residents like it because they pop in, pop out, and it always looks the same. It's always taken care of. They just write a check and they know it's done. Also, the boating is fantastic. You're right there on open water. So if you're a boater, the marina is a fantastic decision. If you go a little north of the marina, you have Pirate Harbor. My joke about Pirate Harbor is there's pirates there. This is a joke I've been saying forever because you used to have a sign when you turn in that said no deed restrictions. And when you go into Pirate Harbor, I feel like that's the vibe there. They really don't want to be told what to do. There are McMansions, beautiful homes in Pirate Harbor. There's also old Florida houses. It's kind of a mix. So you get kind of both. It's very close to open water. The water can be shallow in there, so you have to be careful a little bit. But it's great boating if you don't have a deep draft sailboat. And if you like the idea of no one telling you what to do, you may love Pirate Harbor. As we go a little north, we get into Burnt Store Isles. Burnt Store Isles I describe as the gated community without a gate. It's built around a country club and golf course. So it feels like a very solid community. You can feel the borders of it. It's sailboat water throughout. The closest you can get to open water there is right near the out by Alligator Creek. and that's about 15 minutes, and you could go up to 45 to 50 minutes depending how far away from that you are. It does wind around a lot, so you really have to look at the map to how you get out, and there's only one way out. When I was a kid, I grew up in Burnstow Isles. When I was a kid, there was a lock, and on the way out, that lock has been removed, but you still do not have a super wide berth. I generally don't see boats bigger than 34 feet-ish in Burnstow Isles. I'm sure there's an exception, but a big wide boat, you're not going to want Burnstow Isles. The advantage to Burnstow Isles for a lot of people is the curb appeal. It was started in the 80s. It really didn't take off till the 2000s. So you have a lot of newer homes in there. People really love the curb appeal. There's also a grocery store right there, so there's some convenience to Burnstow Isles. Burnstow Isles' biggest competitor is Punta Gorda Isles. Now, in Burnstow Isles and Punta Gorda Isles, the canals are maintained by the city. Boaters love this. Even your seawall is maintained by the city. So you have a house and the seawall behind it, it's maintained by the city. No other community that I'm talking about has that. A lot of times people hear that and they get confused. They start talking about other communities and they think that's happens everywhere in Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. No, these are the communities where it happens. PGI, Punta Gorda Isles, is a little north of Burnstow Isles. The big comment I get when people are looking at both is what is better and what is not better than the other. Punta Gorda Isles is bigger, so there's usually more on the market than Burnstow Isles just because it's bigger. And there's more variety in Punta Gorda Isles. There's some older sections. Some of them are very good boating. There's a powerboat section. If you love Burnstow Isles, I find that Burnstow Isles and South Punta Gorda Isles are really where things compete. I have to take a quick interlude here to introduce Goose. This is our kitten. We got him in November. He was here last week. I cannot keep him out of the room without him screaming. So, you know, this is the guest star. We're just gonna see Goose from here on out occasionally when he decides to pop by. Several people did ask me or say to me, I got texts from friends and family and comments, we're surprised he didn't knock over the sailboat. He absolutely does knock over the sailboat. I think he's going to do it right now. We just edited that out last time. This time we're just going to let it fly. Be glad this is not a real plant. You'd see some real action then. Anyway, moving on. In between Burnstow Isles and Punta Gorda Isles is Rio Villa and Charlotte Park. This is a small community. Charlotte Park doesn't have a ton of boating, but it does have some. It's powerboat. Rio Villa to the south is sailboat. Very quick access. Neither are deed restricted. They're actually county managed, which is a little bit different. It gets very technical. But if you don't want an HOA, but you want to be close to downtown Punta Gorda, you want to be close to stuff, these neighborhoods could be for you. Now let's go to the east side of Punta Gorda. You have on either side of the 41 bridge, you have East Punta Gorda, and then across the bridge you have Harbor Heights. These are kind of similar areas. You can get some big water views, close to open water, very good boating, very nice views in the back of your house. What you need to know about these neighborhoods is you have a lot of streets where there is boating on one side and great views, and on the other side it's not even waterfront of the street. So on those other side of the street, so you might have a house that's new, 2,600 square feet, looks very new, and across the street is a 1,200 square foot 1960s home that is valued considerably less. For some people this bothers them. Other people see that you can get deals on the water here. For instance, you might see this 2,600 square foot home might be, $800,000, and the house across the street might be worth $200,000. But the $800,000 house, if you were to pick it up and put it in PGI, where there's deed restrictions and everything is manicured, you'd be in the millions. So for that kind of view and waterfront. So if that doesn't bother you, if you say, hey, who's across the street from me? They're probably lovely people. That's not an issue. We care about the back of the house. These neighborhoods can be great for you. If we go across US 41, we get into the Edgewater area. There's no real names for some of these communities, so I'm gonna name them by streets. Edgewater is a big road that cuts through in Port Charlotte. You go south of Edgewater, you get a ton of sailboat water. You go a little bit north between 41 and Edgewater and you get powerboat. In the sailboat water in particular, you're very close to open water. You have no deed restrictions, and it's just a straight shot out. It can be a little shallow there. I have known many people who put boats there and play the tides a little bit when they're going in and out. You just have to pay close attention to that. You're centrally located. It can be a great neighborhood. If you don't want an HOA and you want to be close to open water, that Edgewater area is great. Now, if you go a little bit more north, you get into Tarpon Springs and O'Hare. This is an interesting neighborhood. It's quiet. It's kind of tucked away. It is a little bit further from a lot of commercial stuff. Some people love that because they like the quiet and they don't mind driving 10 minutes. Others want to be closer. It has some of, in my opinion, the best views out there. You have big, wide canal overlooking mangroves sometimes. But much like Harbor Heights and East Punta Gorda, you are often on these big views, and across the street you might have a much older home. You might not have, that doesn't have waterfront at all. So there is a big difference in housing when you drive through the neighborhood. Again, some people that bothers, some people say, you know what I care about is my boat and my view. So that is up to you. One other neighborhood that is in the Edgewater area that I don't want to miss is Grassy Point. Grassy Point is a gated community at the tip of the Edgewater area. It is known for its big houses and its very tough gates. You cannot get into Grassy Point to just drive around. If there's a vacant lot for sale, I have to make an appointment to get into the gate. It's very tough. It has some of the biggest houses out there. You get a dock with your house. There are some houses that have a dock right behind it, right behind the house, but the majority have a dock. Even if you buy a vacant lot, you get a dock with your house. I have known people to buy a house and a vacant lot so they can have two docks. It's very close to open water. Again, if big is important to you, Grassy Point might be the neighborhood for you. Now we are going to go over to the Myakka part of Port Charlotte. You have the Peace River and then you have the Myakka River. Gulf Cove is a bigger area, bigger neighborhood. You go out one way through a lock. Sometimes that lock backs up, so it can take a little longer. South Gulf Cove is very much in my head. It's been around a long time, but a very up and coming neighborhood. You see a lot of new homes in there, but you also see a lot of vacant land. You're close to different stuff now. A little bit closer to the beach because you have Englewood Beach not too far from there, Minnesota Key. It's a very, in my head, emerging neighborhood. There's a whole section of new homes. Could be a great spot because you can still find deals in there and get some great waterfront. Those are the Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte waterfront neighborhoods for boaters. If you have questions or are interested in any of these neighborhoods, please give me a call, shoot me an email. I'd love to help. You can also check out my neighborhood playlist for more information on any of these neighborhoods. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.